Hi everyone, this is Sandy Reese with StampingCrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks for joining me today. I'm currently in Long Beach, California. We're doing the Stampin' Up! Onstage convention, so I'm excited to come back and share some of the things I've learned. We're going to get a sneak peek on the new catalog and lots of exciting stuff. We get to, my favorite part is just going and seeing a lot of my friends and demonstrators from around the world, so it's very cool. Okay, so this is a project that we did at Stampery, which was in February, and then I made some of these for a swap that we're doing. On Thursday morning we did a special event, and I had to make 22 of them, so I feel like I've got it down because I've made so many, and so I'm going to share this with you today. So we're using the Simply Beautiful bundle, and so the stamps, I'm using the big flower, which is gorgeous, this double leaf, and then the dies that go with that. Now the sentiment, you can use any sentiment you want. I just used the Words of Beauty bundle because I wanted to do It's Your Birthday and then use this long die that goes with it. But you can just do a 1/2-inch strip of cardstock or whatever you have. So it's time to bring in some of my favorite colors. We're using Melon Mambo for our card base. And find our bone folder. Melon Mambo black and white is one of my favorite combinations. I haven't used it in a little while, so I thought it would be a great one for this. And we're going to just put a piece of white on the inside since it's kind of a darker color of cardstock. Let's get that in so we don't have to worry about that. Give that another crease, and then I've used the So Swirly embossing folder to emboss this little piece of white cardstock. And we're going to adhere this to a layer of black for just a thin border. And that just really kind of makes it pop. Now I'm going to glue this down. You could pop it up if you wanted, but I think I'm just going to glue it down for today. Just depends on how many layers you want. All right, so we're going to do our stamping on our sentiment and this piece of vellum. I'm going to set that aside. Let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. I'm just going to use Memento for that. I feel like that's not on there straight. Let's try this. Okay, It's Your Birthday. So we've got that stamped, and now we're going to use some Versamark and the big flower and this leaf. I've got them stuck together. Here we go. Now let's use our embossing buddy first over our Versamark, or our vellum, vellum, so powder doesn't stick to it. And then we're going to ink up our big flower. Just going to put this down here at the bottom. Oh, I feel like I'm shaking the table a little bit. And then I'm going to stamp 2 sets of leaves. I'm going to stamp this one here. And I just want to make sure I don't overlap. I think that one can fit right there. All right, pull in some gold embossing powder. I've been using a lot of gold embossing powder lately. I just kind of go through spurts. It'll be a long time and I don't do any embossing, and then all of a sudden I do a bunch of embossing with just like one color. I don't know why that is. Okay, so we're going to heat this up, and vellum can curl if you heat it too long, so the trick is really to get your heat tool going for maybe 30 seconds so it's nice and warmed up, and then the embossing will go a lot quicker and it won't really have time to start warping. So I'm just going to make sure this is nice and hot before I get started. You don't put it too close, but I can feel. Let's see if it's going. Oh, that's getting there. So you just want to heat it just long enough to melt it. And it usually goes really quickly on the vellum. I don't know if you can see that, but it melts very quickly. And then take a quick look. And I think we're good. Okay, now I'm going to do some coloring. So when I color, I like to color on the back. And I'm using Melon Mambo, and I think this is Lemon Lime Twist. I have this just in case I go outside the lines, which I am hoping not to do. So I'm taking the light Melon Mambo, and I'm just coloring the whole thing quickly. Just following along the lines. If you don't get it all, it's okay. I'm not worrying about, you know, getting it too technical. I've colored a lot of these, and it really, you know, it's going to be a fainter color on the other side anyway. So the goal is just not to get outside those lines too much if you can help it. So I color everything with the light. Then I go in with the darker, and that's where I do a little bit of, I just do a line where it looks like my flowers are going to overlap a bit, or I have a little bit of shading. Let's see. Not super particular. Okay. A little folded over there, and then I just do it a little bit like this over the center, and then this is kind of a couple big petals, so I'll just do a little extra shading on those, just so they're not too plain. Oh, I didn't do this one over here. Okay. Now I'll go back with the light, and I go back over just a little bit, and I just kind of, what's the word? Blend those lines so they're not just so straight. I'm just doing little curlies. It doesn't have to be hard. I don't like anything that's too hard or technical because it just needs to be easy and free and fun. So I'm just kind of blending out those lines so they're not quite so harsh. I might take a little bit and just add a little more color if I want. Okay. We're going to do the same thing with the green. And I just wanted kind of a lighter green. So I went with the Lemon Lime Twist, but you could use any color green with this. And we're just using the light to color the whole thing. And I don't even think I'll go back over because the dark really isn't that much darker. It's just slightly darker. Just kind of doing, excuse me, following the lines a bit, just on the veins. And that's it. That's all the coloring. Now let's flip it over and see how that looks. Isn't that pretty? I love that kind of coloring. Nice and easy, not too crazy. All right, now we are going to do some die cutting. All right, for these. Okay. I'm going to use a little Post-it note tape to hold it down, just so we don't have any sliding going on. Okay. Apologize for any shaking. We'll do one more set of leaves. Okay. All right, here we go. So I'm going to put my leaves down first, and I'm using a little liquid glue just right there. I'm not covering the whole leaf, just kind of the bottom, and having it come off the white and black, but not past the edges of the card. And this part's going to be covered by the big flower, so I'm not worried about that glue showing through the vellum. In fact, it doesn't really even show through. Okay. And now I'm going to pop this one up, and we're just going to add these. Because this is white, it's really not going to even show, but I'm going to do it just kind of in areas that might be a little darker, or at intersections where it has maybe a little more embossing, gold embossing there. But because it's white, it's even though you can kind of see it there, once you put it on the white cardstock, you're not even going to notice that. All right, and now we're going to add our sentiment. We'll pop this up. This will kind of maybe go over a little bit. And then let's add a little gold bling with our loose gold sequins. I'm just going to do 3 on this card, I think. 1, 2, 3. And let's grab a little smaller one. And a medium-sized one. Oh, that almost fell in there. And do we have any large? I think I've used all my large sequins. Hold on, I have another partial packet. We've been going through a lot of these. Here's a large one. So these have like 3 sizes. So that way we can do a large, medium, and small. And then you can do whatever you want for the inside. But isn't that pretty? To me, that is just a really elegant looking card. It'd be great for a wedding card too, or even get well. It's just a beautiful card to share with somebody. So I will post measurements and supplies on my blog. Don't forget, we have new online exclusives this month. We have a new catalog coming soon. So if you have any of those 24-26 in color products that you need to have before they go out of stock, now is a good time to order those. Make sure to order online if you want to place an order with me. $50 in an order each month at minimum online will get you a set of our card kit, our card class projects for that month. So who doesn't want free stuff? I know I like free stuff. So that's it for today. Make sure to click subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Monday. All right, bye-bye.